cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
12-12-24 seems to be a bit of symmetry to that, isn't it? Symmetry to that, isn't it? Yeah, okay, that sounded all right. Just checking the sound. Welcome back to the program, folks. It's Chris Wyatt Reports live from Central Pennsylvania on December 12th, 2024. Merry Christmas to those around the world who celebrate our holiday, and to our fellow brothers and sisters who are Jewish who are approaching Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to you as well. I'm wearing a rugby kit today. It's a t-shirt I picked up from the 2015 Rugby World Cup in England. Yes, there you go. Haven't worn this one for a while. Yeah, let's say hello to everybody in the chat, and we'll get to the news here shortly. Got a lot of news to get through here today, folks. My needle's stuck in the groove there. Every time when Chris, Thoroughbred American, plays this beautiful song. You get teary. Oh, Meerkat, that's very nice. Yeah, Giselle's lovely. I've been in touch with them. They're in Namibia right now. She's been doing performances in Malta and other places, and she's going back on tour, as you can see. So Johan asked me if I would interview her, and I said sure, but I've been waiting since September, so not sure when we'll get around to that interview, but I'd like to do it maybe for Christmas. Maybe they'll call in. Hello to Ants out in Port Elizabeth. Teresa, welcome to you. Val Cooper. Neville Purden is back. Paulie is in. Wow, man, no fires in Cape Town. He's obviously not overwhelmed at the moment because he's joined us. Welcome back, Paulie, the brains behind the operation. Monray Siebritz is here. Robert Franklin Moore. Hello from PE. Nick Muller. Boy, my PE following seems to be large. I have to not Nelson Mandela Bay and Port Elizabeth. Got to be nice to those folks. Nick Muller's here. Dylan, always here. Dylan, what a great guy. Dylan always goes the extra mile to try and make it to our meet and greets. Really good guy. Richard Kuhn is here. Welcome to you. Teresa, did I say hello to you? I think I did already. And then we've got Chris Sten is back. Gypsy Backpackers. Alan Kotze. Keith Alderson in from Coventry. Been a while, Keith. Making plans for another UK trip, so I'll let you know if and when I do make it. Neville Purden. Proper African meal tonight. Peri chicken livers. Awful and pop. Devil says, damn, it's good. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, brother, because that would not be on my plate. I'd rather go to McDonald's. Ken says, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? Well, yeah, and Radine is in. Welcome, Radine. How's it going? Salve. How you doing there? Welcome, folks. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I hope that you get what you're looking for from the broadcast. Always a pleasure to have you with me once again. Yeah, I think that I might have just had a delivery. Let me just go check and see. Give me a second to turn the camera off. Don't run off. I may have just had a delivery I've been waiting on. Hang on. Indeed, it was a delivery. Early Christmas present. I ordered some heavily discounted rugby kit, as I typically do. Big sale going on, and so you get to be here for the big reveal. It came in this box from FedEx. Yep, FedEx said they were delivered between 10 and 2, and they delivered 11:09. Let's see what we got here. Look, these are fire sale prices, folks. Here we go. This is a 2023 Rugby World Cup scarf from France. La France. L'équipe de Français n'a pas gagné. C'est l'Afrique du Sud. Oui. It wasn't the French side of the one, but rather South Africa. But this is a Rugby World Cup scarf from the 2023 World Cup. There you go. Whoops, can you read it? There you go. Coupe du Monde du Rugby France 2023. Ouais, c'est vraiment très joli, n'est-ce pas? Woo. Yes, guess what this cost me. Anyone want to guess how much I paid for this? These things were, I think, 30 euros or 35 euros in France. Anyone want to guess what I paid for it? Take a guess. Take a guess. Come on, before we get to the news, we're going to do this. We'll see if we can get a nice red carpet for you one of these days. That'd be nice, Keith. Yeah, check it out, Shawnee. Pretty cool, huh? Yep. Take a guess. What do you think I paid for this? Because I'm frugal. Frugal's not the same as cheap. I'm frugal. Anybody want to guess? $100 says Dylan. Okay, that's a bit much. 15 says Christo. That's a reasonable guess, Christo. That's a very reasonable guess. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Come on. Hey, can I hear 10? Can I get 15? Can I get 20? Get 25, 30, 45, 50. Hey, the gentleman over here with the red blazer on, $45. Can I get 50, 55, $22 says Shawnee. Okay. 15 euros. Good guess. $20. All right, guys. Those are all good guesses. I paid $7.99 for this scarf. Woohoo! Yeah, genuine merchandise. $7.99. Good guess, though, guys. All right, what's next? Ooh, what do we got here? Yeah. Shawnee says 12. Okay, you already guessed, Shawnee. And she goes $7.99. That's right, I paid $7.99. Look, I told you I'm frugal, man. People wonder how I have so much rugby kit. It's because I wait, I'm patient, and just like an eagle, watching the vermin on the ground. Ooh, there they are. Swoop down and get it. So sometimes I pay full price because, you have to get stuff before it's gone. Got myself another France 2024 polo. Can never get enough of these bad boys. There you go. The Rugby World Cup. And on the sleeve, this is embroidered. This is not printed. These are really good. I think I paid $19 for this. This was $60. It was 50 euros. Yeah, over $60 is what this shirt was originally. I paid like $19. So about 16 euros. Yeah, it's a nice polo, huh? That is sweet. All right. I'm excited. Christmas comes on the 12th, not the 25th. We haven't even got to the Advent calendar yet. All right, folks. All right, so here's another one. What's this one? Let's see what this is. All right. Fell off a truck. Yeah, it fell off a truck and into my hands. All right. Yeah, this one I didn't see. I don't recall seeing this when I was in France, but it was an official World Cup thing. This is a nice T-shirt. It's got the Webb Ellis trophy on it. Got to take all the packing material away. There you go. Look at that. Rugby World Cup France 2023 with the Webb Ellis trophy right there in the heart. Isn't that cool? That's a bit thick, though. Hopefully it doesn't wear off. And then on the sleeve, this is actually embroidered here. The Macron symbol. It's not Emmanuel Macron, but Macron, the rugby kit maker. That's actually embroidered. This is printed, the World Cup, and the rest is printed. But hey, that was $7.99. Mm-hmm. Yep. FBI's going to pay me a visit for international robbery. Yeah, it might be, as this came from the UK. All right, what's next here? Ooh, look at this. It's wintertime here in North America. It's wintertime. And guess what you need when your big ears like mine get kind of cold in the wintertime when I'm out exercising. So looky what I got here. I got myself a beanie. Got a beanie. There you go. Official merchandise beanie. $7.99. There's a trend here. Have yourself a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. Oh, by golly, it's a holly jolly Christmas this year. Now, this is such a good quality thing. It doesn't come in a rip bag, but rather a Ziploc bag. So you can put it back in. Well, if you can open up the Ziploc. My goodness, that zip is held in there tight. Got it. Okay, check this out, folks. Beanies are us. All right, this was a steal. This was $19.99. This was originally 110 euros, if I remember correctly. And check it out, folks. Manu Samoa. There you go, folks. Their home jersey for the World Cup 2023. Woohoo! Got a new rugby jersey. $20. $20. I'll sell it for $50. Anybody want to pay $50 for it? All right. What else we got here? Oh, they got a lot of crap in this box, didn't they? Oh, okay. This one comes last. This is a surprise. That's last. That one I paid the most for, but it was still cheap for what it is. Now, what the heck is this? Oh, this is another hoodie. And this is in a Ziploc bag. Is there anything? There's nothing under my tree. By the way, my tree is up. I'll send a photo, share with folks. I haven't done that yet. So, another Rugby World Cup hoodie, folks. Wintertime is here. Perfect for this. Check it out. France 2023. And look at the back. All of the rugby unions. Wow. Every rugby union. Hey, there's no American flag on there. What the hell? Oh, that's right. We didn't qualify. Yep, there you go. Look at that. Unfortunately, they're printed. They're not embroidered. It would have been incredible if it was embroidered, but it's still pretty good. Got myself a big hoodie there. I could sleep in that bad boy. All right. And now, the pièce de la résistance. La pièce de la résistance, la chose plus grande, comme tous les articles j'ai reçus aujourd'hui, le 12 décembre 2024. Attendre. Voilà. Regarde. J'ai quelque chose de très intéressant pour tout le monde. Regarde ici. Also, jemand soll jetzt gucken, was ich hier in der Hand habe. Ja, das ist ja fabelhaft. Das ist ja, also ich habe sowas gesucht, schon seit letztes Jahr. Aber ich habe das nirgendwo gefunden. Guck mal jetzt. All right, folks, I've been trying to get something like this for over a year. Looky what I got here. Rugby World Cup champions 2023, South Africa Springboks. Yes. And there you go. The road to victory, ladies and gentlemen. There it is right there. Yes. Woo, baby. South Africa 18, Scotland 3. I was there in Marseille. South Africa 76, Romania nothing. I was there in Bordeaux. South Africa 8, Ireland 13. I was there at the Stade de France in Paris. South Africa 49, Tonga 18. I was there. I don't even remember where that game was at. I think it was Marseille. South Africa 29, France 28. I wasn't there. I was home already. South Africa 16, England 15. Yes, I was home. And South Africa 12, New Zealand 11. Yebo! All right. Sweet, eh? There you go. That's my haul. Ladies and gentlemen, all of that cost me 100 Samoas. $100. Yep, including the shipping. And on top of the low prices I paid, I also got myself an additional 10% discount because it was a sale on top of a sale. Hey! Well done, eh, Garrett? Ja, fabelhaft, ja. Also, nicht wahr? Ja, also, ja. I am a frugal shopper. Would you agree? Meerkat says I should have a bidding for that hoodie. Well, that hoodie's nice. I was thinking it was an all black top. No. I could have got it in green, but it didn't look right in green. The dark green didn't make the text pop, so this makes it pop with the black. So I got it with black, and it's different. I mean, most of my Springboks kit is green, so black is kind of cool. All right, who else popped in while I was sleeping there? Gypsy Backpackers is here. Garrett Gillich, Liam Menard, Gus, Meerkat. And Shawnee says, okay, it's a pretty smart shopper. I try to be, Charles. Look, it's one of the ways I'm able to come to South Africa and stay for as long as I am able to on each of these trips because I'm frugal. I'm clever about what I do. And that includes the generosity of folks who offer accommodation. And that makes it all possible. I tell you, if I had to go to South Africa and pay for 30 days of accommodation, that'd be tough. I'd wind up being stationary in one spot for longer periods of time, trying to get a bargain, stay in a place where we can get a good deal. I wouldn't be able to travel as much and see as many people, so it would be tough. But the generosity of folks in providing accommodation for me in places like Pretoria, Joburg, down in Amanzimtoti. Hey, and there is a super chat sticker. It says membership, so... Janssen van Rensburg, 41 months. Good evening to see you. Hey, always a pleasure. Thank you for that. What did you change your avatar? Does it look like a bulldog and someone with a mask on? I can't figure that out. But yeah, Amanzimtoti, in Howick, in Clarence, in Zeerust, Cape Town, PE, all over the place. Well, nobody's ever given me a place to stay in PE. I've always paid there. Okay. From purchase date to arrival and take. Gosh, when did I order that? A couple weeks ago. But the reason it took so long is it comes from overseas. Like that's from the UK. And number two, the reason it took a while, I think it's from the UK. It takes a while is because the Springbok jersey was special order. They didn't have those in stock. I mean, they you can order it special. They're not just going to print those. So that's why it took longer. Otherwise, it would have been here last week. So yeah, pretty good though. Dylan's coming to live next. Oh, he's asking me if I'm coming to live next door. Only if I get to live in the mansion that's in this video. I'm going to risk a copyright thing here, so hang on a second. Where's it at? Oh, where are you hiding at now, man? Oh, did I get rid of that? Oh, come on. Where'd it go? I got to go find it again. Hang on. YouTube. Come on. Oh, I know where it's at. I can find the link. I got it here. Okay, got it. I know how to do it because I sent it to somebody. So, okay. There it is. All right. That's it. Hang on a second. This is from Elof and Early B, man. Got to put this on mute because it looks like an ad. Yeah, it's an ad. Whoa, that's a nice ad. Who's that chica? Chanel number 5. All right, come on. I got to jump up a little bit here. Somewhere you get to see this video. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. There you go. I will come live in South Africa only if I get to live here. This is Bikini Via. Okay, this is from Elof and Early B. So if I can live in this place, now the waves are fake. That's just AI. But the house, check out the house, man. That might be fake too, but it looks real. But if this is where I could live, then I will come live in South Africa. You ready for this? Hopefully I won't get a copyright. Where the heck is my damn window at? Hang on a second. Something's not right here. Come on. There it is. Okay, here we go. If I can live there, then I might come to South Africa. You ready for that, folks? You ready for that? Here we go. If I can live there, man, I'll tell you, Early B is a short dude, man. That Khoisan heritage is definitely in that young man. Wow, Early B is like up to my knee. That dude is short. Anyway, if I could go there, then that's a lot of house, I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome, man. It looks like Mozambique says, Garrett. That works for sure, but that is not South Africa. I didn't say it was. I said if I could live there in South Africa, put that house in South Africa. I'm going to need 5 guards to keep you at your pool, no doubt. Hey, there's Arctic, man. Where's my Druvos? Where have you been? We were talking about aviation again. Not today. I'm not cleaning in Shawnee. I'm going to be a typical colonial, and I'm going to hire people to do it. Clean this for me. God. Somehow I don't think the house comes with all the ladies. I'm just saying that. I doubt that's the case. That's unfortunate because that was the biggest part of the appeal. All right, let's get to the news, folks. -10 in oh my goodness, that's like -3 or -4 Celsius there in Minnesota. Yeah. So you were sleeping with the little fella? Yeah, for sure. No, we were out there. It was having some lutefisk, and then we went to the bed. We was knocking boots for a long time. It was lovely. Yeah, no, my grandmother, she's from Norway. Yeah, she used to tell me all about the wild sex parties the Norwegians used to have here in Minnesota. Yeah, no, it's before the Somalis moved in. Now nobody wants to have the wild sex parties anymore because of the Somalis. It's they always complaining about the noise we're making. So we have to drink that same poly beer. Hey, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yes, Radine, I think that's a very real possibility. Real possibility. House is too big, huh? Okay. Well, it's not too big for me, man. There's no such thing as too big, except body weight. Well, the case against a farmer who drove into a boy suspected of stealing oranges moves to regional court. The farmer, the 70-year-old Christoffel Stoman, who purportedly has less than 6 months to live based on a cancer diagnosis, a terminal cancer diagnosis, will now be kept in prison until January 13th, an additional month. He's already been in prison for 3 months. So if, in fact, he has only 6 months to live, this man will die in prison and have never been convicted of a crime. This is a violation of his human rights. Where is the South African Human Rights Commission when a person's human rights are being violated? Well, because he's white, and he's a Boer, then he doesn't count for the South African Human Rights Commission. They just leave him out there to hang. I've not seen one report of the South African Human Rights Commission having any interest whatsoever in this case. This gentleman, if he doesn't have a terminal illness, that will be easy enough to determine with a medical examination, and then he'll be untrustworthy. But he, in open court, said last month that he has less than 6 months to live because he has cancer, yet he's in prison in a malicious race-based prosecution. Now, I have no doubt, based on the available public information, this gentleman is probably guilty of running over the child and causing grievous harm to him, but he didn't kill anyone, and he is not a threat to the public based on the information that the prosecutors claim. He simply is white and a farmer, and therefore he must be in prison. Must be in prison. Yeah, according to the racist authorities in South Africa. Thoughts? Comments? Anybody? So, let me see. Let me do a poll on this real quick. Poll. Based on what information you have, okay, because we don't have all the information. Is the continued jail imprisonment of PHRISTO? All right, so imprisonment. Boy, my typing really needs to improve. Imprisonment, not improvement. Christoffel Stoman. I think it's Christoffel. Make sure I get it right. Christoffel. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, Christoffel. Unjust. Okay, there's the poll. Is it unjust based on the information you have? So, all right. White people have no rights in that. You should know that. I do know that, Charles, but my mission is to expose corruption, fraud, injustice, and evildoers. That's my job here. You got a rant at me this morning? That's interesting. Are you talking about yesterday's video? I saw yesterday's video. It was not a rant at me. It just gave me a caution. I was actually going to take that portion and make a video and say, thanks for the good advice. But I didn't do it. What was the rant about me today? I was only mentioned once in the video. I saw a video in which he uses footage from like 15 years ago where Ronaldo was a child and was acting foolish on YouTube like most people were acting. That's why I didn't make videos back then. People were just fools on YouTube acting like clowns. So he put that video up, and then he said, word of advice or word of caution when you lie down with fleas, or when you lie down with dogs, you get up with fleas, and he mentioned me by name. Well, I do appreciate that he called me Colonel. He called me the so-called Colonel a couple of years ago, lied, misled his viewers and said I was, a so-called colonel, not an actual colonel. He also lied and claimed I worked for the Central Intelligence Agency with no evidence or proof of it whatsoever. People fall for that stuff because people are stupid. They really are. It takes very little to convince some people of anything you want to convince them of. I mean, look at the followers of the EFF, or MK. So, yeah. So, Clive, what did he say about me specifically? Can you give me a little information? Because I didn't see anything today. I don't watch that channel anymore. There was a time I watched the channel. It was actually informative. It was interesting. And it was one of the few channels talking about what was going on in South Africa, the injustice taking place there. But it went off the deep end a long time ago, especially after I was attacked personally, and I have no idea why. I never did anything. I get the sense of betrayal when I interviewed Fiona, but look, I'm not part of that. Fiona had been abandoned by the channel. It wasn't like she was on the channel anymore. It was months after she left the channel, and my viewers asked me to interview her because she's a fascinating lady. A lot of people followed her autobiography that she was doing. And so while I was in England, just like I met with Hendo, I met with Fleshin, I met with Keith Alders. I met with all these people in the UK and tried to meet with Reverend Rawhide. I met with Fiona. We sat in a Costa coffee shop. It was a bit noisy there. Couldn't find a good spot. But we pulled it off. It was windy. It was cold. And we had a conversation. And next thing I know, I become targeted again. Whatever. You have to be a Sheikh or Zuma to get... Exactly, Neville. You have to be a Shabir Sheikh to get your rights. 37 degrees Celsius. Ouch, that is too hot for me. Too hot for me, especially at Christmas time. Yeah. Paper anal probe. What the heck is that? Okay, I looked into that the wrong time. Pressed the wrong button there. It's okay, Charles. I know what button you pushed. It's raining domestic animals here in KZN. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the cats. Why can't I find that on TikTok? I love those videos. That's so funny, man. Trump, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to try to see if it shows up on my TikTok. I'm just saying, I got to do it at least once here. Let's see. Come on, TikTok.
Do you think we can make it the whole day without you doing something bad? Did you already do something bad? Do you think we can make it the whole day without you doing something bad? Can I be...
Nope.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And they're eating the...
See, there's one. Oh, look who it is. Francois van Kock.
As jy nou die eienaar is of die manager of as jy net daarvan om uit te hang by die plek, jy kan 'n free shot.
Whoa.
Common knowledge is...
Come on.
Critter that wants to be friends with...
Didn't invite to the grocery.
Come on, eating the dogs. Come on, eating the dogs, eating the cats. Stupid cats. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do TikTok today, but it's stupid cats. Cat's looking for the food, and it's on a griddle, and the cat reaches his paw in time. Ah, it's hot. And there's another boiling water food. The cat puts its paw in. Ah, dumbasses. Anyway, all right. Actually, slipped and pressed the wrong button. Whoops. CIA owes you a crap load of money. I know, Charles. Yeah, because if I worked for the CIA, I would enter as a GS-15, which is like $142,000 a year starting, plus differential pay for working in DC, which is another 18% or something. It's 16 or 18%. So I'd be making close to $200,000 working at the CIA at a minimum if I started there. I would likely be offered a senior executive service or qualify for senior executive service with the CIA, which would take me north of that. And yeah, that's the general officer equivalent. So boy, that'd be cool to work for the CIA. So yeah, please, somebody, you got the inside, you know somebody at CIA. Otherwise, we are CIA. Chris in Africa. Chris in action. Okay, Francois from Cook is overrated. Oh, Matthew, shame on you. To the corner, Matthew. You know what, Matthew? Just for that, you're not getting any Advent's chocolate. You don't deserve any Advent's chocolate. Shame on you, Matthew. Francois from Cook is fantastic. I've been to one of his concerts. It was awesome. Today's the 12th. 12, 12, 24. So 12 and 12 equals 24. Check it out. The symmetry of that is really good. So I don't think we even did the 11th because I got so busy yesterday. There's 11, so let's take care of 11 on the Hello Kitty Advents calendar. Boom, 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 boom. And that is a bow. We've had a bow before. Not very creative here, the Hello Kitty guys. 11th, now find the 12th as the days count. Oh, it's up here on the top. Okay. There you go. So, it's a Christmas tree. Oh, Tannenbaum. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. All right, that's that. Okay, let's take care of the Hello Kitty. Let's go to the Aldi one. 11 and 12. Now we got to find. This one's hard. There's 11. Ooh, look, I found it right away. Check that out. That never happens. Probably because it's not larger than the others. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get in my belly. Baby. The other white meat. It's a moon with a face on it. There's a moon. Crescent moon. All right. That's 11. Let's go for 12. 12, 12, 12. Can I get 12? Can I get... There it is over here. Well, they're getting easier to find as there's fewer to open. Imagine that. What are the odds of that? This looks like a little angel child. A little angel standing somewhere. Check it out. Okay. So that takes care of the Aldi. Let's go to the Lidl calendar. Oh, thank God we don't have any more German places. Right? I weigh 500 pounds. 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. There's 11 down here at the bottom of the Christmas tree. Ooh, have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. There's a snowman. Frosty the snowman was a jolly happy soul with a corncob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal. This is a child on a rocking horse. Can't really see that very well. There you go. There's that one. And then we're down to the T. The T, the T, the T, the T, the T, the T. Ha, 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 ha. All right. Two of them to pull out here. The 11th. Whoops. God bless it. Ooh. Peppermint bark. Folks, what is the only tree that people eat? What's the only tree that's edible? The tree, not fruits. What's the only tree? Peppermint bark. There's one tree that people actually eat. And they're not eating the dogs, they're not eating the cats, they're eating the trees. There's one tree that you can eat. Does anybody know what that is? It's edible by humans. For humans. Mulled, ooh, this sounds good. Mulled apple green tea. Shawnee, straight to the front of the class. Cinnamon, that's correct. You are correct. Cinnamon is the only tree that humans consume. We eat the cinnamon bark. That's right. Cinnamon is the only one. Check it out. Ooh, it is mulled apple green tea. It reminds me of my time in the Öland Islands in Finland. Ah, the Öland, so lovely. I miss it, I miss it. No, Matthew, only pandas eat bamboo. I'm sorry, brother. Only pandas. Okay. All right. So, what's going on in February here? You need to speak to Brandon now before he leaves office. Pretend you know him. Yeah, I do like that worthless freaking lefty who's paid by the Democratic Party, little goober who responds to the millennial. It's funny. Jax is here. Welcome back, Jax. Christmas in a cup. There you go. Okay. Cinnamon is correct, Jax. You also got it correct. Yep. Banana tree. You can't eat the banana tree. No, you can eat cinnamon. That's the bark. Comes from a tree. Pretty cool. And I love me some cinnamon. That's some good stuff. Good stuff. What's this? Okay, I just got a thing from one of my colleagues. Trump transition. Hang on. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. There's a Trump transition team, so I don't know what jobs are left, but I've just got sent an application for it. So, yeah, I will check on that. Mulled apple green tea says, ew, says Shawnee. That's funny, Shawnee. By the way, I need to check my mail because I wrote to a couple of people. Yes, the World Rugby Shop says my order was delivered 11/19. I know that. I'm looking to see if they wrote back to me. I have 2 mentions in TikTok. Who's mentioned me on TikTok? Probably not good. Probably not good. No, neither one of them responded back to me. So we'll get back to the news here in just a second. All right, let's close that poll. 50 plus votes. Cool. You can eat the pulp of a banana tree. I watched the podcast. Okay. Radine says, I've been to Öland. It's part of Finland, but almost everyone is Swedish. Correct. 90% of the people speak Swedish as the first language. Yeah, and I would love to live in, that's a beautiful place. I absolutely love the Öland Islands. Lovely. Biden on providing clemency for, yes, I've got that. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But that's his prerogative. If he does any preemptive pardons, that's going to be problematic. That is problematic, particularly for Adam Schiff, for Merrick Garland, any of his cabinet members, or Hillary Clinton. That's going to be bad. But Hillary Clinton, I think her crimes now past the statute of limitations, so she's safe to continue being an ass without going to jail. But Trump is clever. He did an NBC News interview in which he said, no, I'm not going to go after these people. Pam Bodney is. Oh, yeah, Fauci definitely needs his best food review ever, a guy named Sonny. Okay, Charles. They also eat humans. Exactly, Arctic. I wasn't going to say that. In Papua New Guinea, they also eat people. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease can be found there. You can eat any tree if you have a strong jaw and put your mind into it, says Christo. I don't think so. I don't think so. But thanks for that. Oh, we lost. We're losing people. We're at 95. Where did they go to? All right. So, Christopher Stomont is in prison for another month, a 70-year-old who apparently has terminal cancer. Well, at least he claims to. Well, the MK party has not given up. They continue to be election deniers. The MK was denied a chance to lead. The government says EFF turncoat Floyd Shivambu says election rigging evidence is ready. So it only took them, hang on a second, May 29th, June, July, August, September, October, November. It took them 6 months to assemble their evidence of election fraud. This is what the MK party has to say. The Mkoto Sizwe Party said it was ready to move forward with its case against the Independent Electoral Commission of South Africa in an attempt to have the results of the national and provincial elections on May 29th annulled, citing claims of fraud. Yep, but they offer none of the evidence. They're going to hold it for court, I guess. The election deniers, the MK Party. Transnet has awarded a tender to run the Port of Cape Town terminal. And once again, racist tenders in South Africa. We're going to expose racism every time we find it. The Lifman killer, that trial continues, but I haven't put much attention on it. The tank terminals will operate, FFS tank terminals will operate the liquid bulk terminal for the next 25 years. No outrage, no uproar from lefties, from black supremacists in South Africa. Nobody's upset about this, just about Shell and just about the tender for electricity from Car Power Ship from Turkey. Oh my gosh, 25 years, it's so corrupt. Here we have a tender for a company in South Africa for 25 years, and nobody's saying anything. Yes, FFS tank terminals will operate the liquid bulk terminal at the Port of Cape Town for over the next 25 years after Transnet chose the company as the preferred bidder to run the terminal as a state-owned entity ramps up private participation. Ports, but it's not private participation, it's patronage. And why is it patronage, ladies and gentlemen? Here's why. Because FFS Refiners is a black-owned entity. It's racist. Yep, not the company, but the tender. The analysis, 61.11% of the ownership is black. 35.38% is black women-owned. Yes. But no disabled. Yeah, I have no disabled groups. No military veterans. Yes, but they're owned by black folks. There's their certificate right there. Certificate number MDG24.06.28.2.FR, issued on June 24th, 2024, and expires on 27 June 2025. But worry not, folks. Racism does not expire in South Africa. This racist contract award to a company because of the skin color of their owners is, make no mistake, patronage and racism. Rank racism. That's what it is. There you go, folks. I'm not going to get into it. There was some little turd I saw the other day who talks about what racism looks like. Urkel in South Africa doesn't know what racism. This is racism. Yep. Yes, stuck in prison, but one of the accused in the brutal torture and murder of Brendan Horner on October 1st, 2020, was arrested on October 3rd, released on bail, 5,000 rand. This gentleman, who killed no one, who ran over a boy and grievously injured him, who has since recovered, has been in prison since September, October, November, now in his 4th month of imprisonment. A month ago, he received a terminal cancer diagnosis. This is an inhumane treatment of an innocent person. He's not convicted. Now, I suspect he probably committed the crime, but that's not really the issue here. This is the dual justice system that exists in the United Kingdom, in Germany, in France, in the United States, in Canada, in South Africa, against the indigenous population. And by the way, indigenous isn't Native Americans and First Nations. It's people born here. People born here. My people been here for 4 centuries. We are indigenous. So fuck off. Yeah, anyway, racism. It's everywhere. You got to stop it. Well, the Democratic Alliance is standing up for its Berg River mayor, who was grilled for 12 hours by authorities when they found a buttload of drugs on his property. What's going on here? Berg River Municipality Mayor Ray Van Rooy was released after a 12-hour-long grilling by the police. He was taken in for questioning after police found a substantial quantity of drugs on his property. The Democratic Alliance is standing by the mayor, saying that he was framed. I was framed! I'm innocent! Police crime intelligence swooped in on his residence, conducted a search and seize operation at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Insiders say the DA member was questioned for 12 hours. Police say there was a tip, they found 700 grams of cocaine at his home. Substantial quantity of drugs and I'm sorry. 700 grams is not a substantial amount of drug. A kilo, that's a substantial amount. That's a bit short of that. It's only 70%. Also, they found a round of ammunition. Oh, wow. They found one round of ammunition at his residence in Piketberg. Is having ammunition a crime in South Africa? Wow. No one has been charged. Investigation continues. But the DA stands up for its mayor. Not for Ronaldo Khos, but for their mayor after drugs are found on his property. The DA stands up for Rabin Figlin, despite the fact that he is a pathological liar, according to their own internal investigation, and that he sexted a high school student, demanded naked photos, or he was blackmailing her. Hey, but the DA stands up for Rabin Figlin. Yeah. Yeah. Our DA. Your arrogance has led us to contest the elections. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the smallest parties in South Africa, one of the most useless parties in South Africa, one of the parties of the evil tripartite alliance, the South African Communist Party, will now run candidates for office. Why bother? Because the ANC puts you in positions all over, and all the top ANC members are commies. But hey, because of the arrogance of the ANC, they will now field candidates for the next election. Yes, Radine, that's even more creepy. She is a relative of his. Ew. Your arrogance forces us communists to run on our own. Good luck, fellas. Have fun storming the castle. South African Communist Party General Secretary Salim Mapiraila has rationalized the decision to break away from the ANC in the next local government election, claiming the ANC has failed to move with speed to reconfigure the tripartite alliance. In what way, buddy? Senior ANC leaders, including former President Thabo Mbeki, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, and Snooky Zikalela, attended the second day of the Congress. Ooh, what's going on? The tipping the ANC's relationship with the Communist Party was precipitated by the ANC's decision to enter the GNU with the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. So the Communist Party is racist! It's racist! Well, why not? They tell us the DA is a white party. We know that the Freedom Front Plus is a white party. So they don't want to be in government because they're, why? Corrupt? No. Incompetent? No. Ineffective? No. It's because they're white. Racist. Oh, my goodness. Boy, the racism is just piling up all over the place. It's everywhere. Something really strange going on here. Ray Van Rooyen has to have an armed bodyguard for his family. He's been standing against the drugs people. Well, Richard, maybe he's got drugs planted there. Maybe. That's what he claims. Could very well be the case. His bodyguards aren't at the house 24/7. Well, here's an interesting article, and this is written by Kabelo Kumalo, whom I wrote to at the Business Day. And he writes a story about the Harvard University paper on deregulating the informal sector. Well, the informal sector isn't regulated. That's why it's the informal sector. So it's funny to hear this. What they want is changes in the formal sector to facilitate growth in the informal sector. My argument about this paper, which I have not read yet, I will read it, but I couldn't find it. I was busy preparing for the news. I will read the paper, but my argument on the surface is that you improve your economy by formalizing your economy and bringing the informal economy into it. One of the major problems with West Africa is much of the GDP is actually in the informal sector. It's not taxed, it's not regulated, there's no safety oversight of it, and there's also lots of criminal activity that's involved, and so therefore that stymies growth. It may provide a service and provide goods, food in particular, and small means of survival for people who are poor, but it does not improve economic growth. It just exists. So the informal sector needs to be formalized. And this paper argues the opposite, that they should deregulate to allow the informal sector to grow. I have no problem with the informal sector growing if it becomes part of the formal sector. The current effort to register spaza shops, if it was legitimate, not simply, Ramaphosa striking out, would be a good example of how you would formalize the informal sector. But that's not what's going on. This is a shakedown, particularly for nationals and xenophobic content. So anyway. So here you go. Abnormally low informal sector activity may be the reason for the country's persistently high unemployment, the paper argues. No, that's not the reason. According to this paper, South Africa can make a dent in unemployment if it frees the informal sector from overbearing regulations, including restrictive zoning in urban areas, according to a working paper from Harvard University. Yeah, Harvard University's working paper is flat out wrong. I'll read it and make sure that the journalist didn't interpret it incorrectly, but they're flat out wrong. Deregulating urban centers does not improve the informal economy. It leads to racketeering, corruption, crime, and unsafe products. This is the problem we have right now. Unsafe food killing children. It doesn't get better by informalizing that. Yep, informalizing it, yeah. Which name do you like, Colonel? Altana, Albertana, Monte Albert. I have no idea what that means. Yep. As an American, I've got bullets falling out of my ears and washing machine under rugs and change bowl in old shoes. I couldn't find them off I wanted to. Yeah, light rain, having ammunition isn't a crime. Yeah, anyway, so there you go. Sex for accommodation, rape, harassment, hate crimes on campus. The study reveals shocking allegations about South African universities. Not at all shocking because the way these things are run as woke environments, they tolerate this stuff. But look, it's not unique to South Africa. I remember that, what's that guy's name? Squire Lovelace. Oh my goodness. Let me look that up. Squire Lovelace. This is from when I was a freshman at university. What a weird name. Let's see what happens when I look that up. Squire Lovelace. Squire Lovelace. Yep. There he is. Let's see if this comes up. 1982. My goodness. Wow. Athens, Ohio. Squire Lovelace, 20, has been convicted of aggravated murder and sentenced to life in prison for the stabbing of his girlfriend, Ohio University student Lisa Garnett. Lovelace, of Cleveland Heights, showed no emotion and made no statement after the verdict was read. Lovelace was accused of killing Miss Garnett, 21, in her Ohio University dormitory on October 9th. Defense lawyer Russell Adrian said the verdict probably would be appealed. No defense evidence was presented in the case. In the closing argument to the jury, Adrian said there was no prior calculation of killing a key element of aggravated murder. He said the stabbing was a crime of passion and asked the jury to consider a lesser offense such as voluntary manslaughter. Prosecutors said Lovelace's actions were not due to sudden passion, but planned and carried out when Miss Garnett refused to commit herself to a future with him. Lovelace battered her once. He chased her into the hallway and stabbed her again and again and again until the blood and life were out of her. They told the jurors. Why? If he couldn't have her, then nobody else could have her. Lovelace was sentenced to the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield. The earliest he could be eligible for parole was 15 years. That was in 1982. Squire Lovelace. Folks, I was a freshman at university, a fresh-faced 17-year-old university student, and I frequented the place where that girl was murdered. It was at the Convocation Center, which the university foolishly set up these quads. So they would have 4 rooms with 4 occupants, and they're all freshman girls. They put freshman girls in a place that had very poor security. Dumb. So you have one room here, and then the next level, there's one room here, and that's a quad. You move on to the next quad, all around this round building. And so what he did is he went outside, and there was a concrete wall that was about mid-chest for me so that people wouldn't fall over because there's a drop-off as you enter the building, several dozen feet, probably 100 feet. So that was so people wouldn't fall over. They could walk around the building safely to enter the different entrances and go out the exits. Well, he climbed up on top of that. It was about that wide. So he put his foot on, he reached up, he was tall enough, and he found the ledge that was outside on the next level where all the dormitory rooms were. And he climbed up, pulled himself up, broke in her window, waited for her. When she came back to her dormitory room, he accosted her, he beat her, he stabbed her, she fled, got out of the room, and he stabbed her repeatedly until she died in the hallway. People saw it. It was horrible. I was actually there like the day of that or the day prior as well. Unbelievable. It was shocking. Something I'll never forget. What an idiotic name, Squire Lovelace. This guy murdered this young girl, 21 years of age, in 1982. She'd be in her 60s today had she survived. Yeah, it's crazy. This happens all over. So this story is not anti-South Africa. It's simply a statement of what's going on. Yeah, rest in peace for that young lady a long time ago. Sex for accommodation. The Commission for Gender Equality conducted research on sexual harassment at Nelson Mandela, Northwest, and socio-political universities. Participants in Northwest University told research some students engaged in sex work to survive. Wow. At Northwest University, some students were said to engage in sex work. When you get help from a comrade, you must give them something. When they offer and then you say no, and you tell your comrades, they're like, you're done. Wow. So if you don't give it up, then you are ostracized and kicked out. Wow. Well, not a surprise. Stigmatization, the LGBTQIA+, good God, focus group discussion participants said that queer students were also harassed based on their sexuality. Surprise, surprise. Stigmatization was highlighted in this group where reportedly heterosexual security personnel did not take same-sex relationship cases seriously, with the belief that people in same-sex relationships could not harass each other. Well, of course they can. Just like black people can be racist. Yikes. Well, remember I told you about the stolen car racket that was going on yesterday in near Pretoria? Well, apparently they arrested 80 criminal alien invaders as part of that operation. Wow. Gauteng police recovered 7 stolen and hijacked vehicles at a chop shop in Pretoria on Wednesday. They also arrested 80 undocumented foreigners and confiscated counterfeit goods worth more than 700,000 rand. Chop shops, well, we got them here. California has plenty of them. Well, it'll be a dry weekend. No water for residents in Joburg as 4 million people will be without water, courtesy of Rand screw up again. The pump station maintenance could affect as many as 4 million people in Joburg. Yep. Maintenance on the Eichenhof and Zwartkoppies pump stations begin tomorrow. So fill your tubs, fill your buckets, make sure you've got water for the weekend. With a day to go before the 86-hour shutdown of the Eichenhof pump station and 36-hour maintenance on the Zwartkoppies pump station, Johannesburg residents have been warned to expect low pressure or no water in all areas fed by Rand water. Wow. If only the ANC hadn't stolen the money and continued the Highlands Water Project to continue the other 2 or 3 proposed connections to deliver water from the mountains of the Drakensberg, from Lesotho into Gauteng. If only they pursued that and continued that instead of just finishing the project that was 80% complete when the National Party gave up power in the 1990s. Today, there would be water everywhere in Gauteng. Instead, for 30 years, they ignored, they stole, they destroyed. And now you have no water. Yep. I'm not surprised, Chris Swanee, that people were blacklisted for reporting things. That happens to people. You know, you're a narc. Ooh, you're turning people in. Hey, wrongdoers are wrongdoers. They don't deserve protection, whether police, military, political officials, your boss. If they're committing crimes, they must be rooted out. And you're not betraying anyone. You're actually protecting your loyalty to the institution, to the nation, when you turn out criminals. Yep. Well, it isn't government money. Sports, Arts, and Culture Minister Gate McKenzie's given tickets to Chris Brown. Yeah, Chris Brown, the wife beater, the woman beater, is in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to concerts weekend. Gate McKenzie's giving out tickets to poor folks. Hey, I know we got some poor folks here because we don't get any super chats. So if you want to go to Chris Brown concert, talk to Gate and Gaptooth McKenzie. Whoa, that is a bodice on that young lady. Look at that. Yeah. Anyway, Sports, Arts, and Culture Minister Gate McKenzie says he'll be giving away tickets for the concerts of South African musician Indivehundzani Makadzi Ravehona. Good Lord, young lady, that's a mouthful. And American artist Chris Brown. Brown arrived in South Africa on Wednesday while performing at FNB Stadium on Saturday and Sunday, and her one-woman show will be in Limpopo on the 21st December. Wow. He said, K December is opening tomorrow. I'll be giving away tickets here on social media too. Makadzi and Chris Brown shows to people who cannot afford them. This isn't government money. Let's have fun and support these superstars. Yes, let's support Chris Brown. Hey, Gate McKenzie. Boy, talk about putting your foot in your mouth. Let's talk about Chris Brown. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about everything. No, let's talk about sex. No, not sex. Let's talk about Chris Brown. Well, sex is part of it. Chris Brown. Here's his rap sheet. There you go. There's different images of Chris Brown. So, his debut album made him a fixture in the charts on the red carpet. It wasn't long before he found himself embroiled in legal troubles. In 2009, he was charged with felony assault after he beat Rihanna. Let me tell you something. If you beat on Rihanna, you are not on my Christmas list. Trust me. Yep. So, in 2009, he assaulted Rihanna What is wrong with you, moron? Good gosh. He pled guilty to the charge and avoided jail time with a plea agreement. So he beat her, a felony. He committed a felony assault on a woman, gender-based violence, and he walked. He didn't go to jail. But hey, Gabe McKenzie, let's celebrate Chris Brown. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about the guy that beats on women. Sure. We'll invite him to South Africa. Yep. March 2011, he melts down backstage during a Good Morning America appearance with Robin Roberts. She asked him about his relationship with Rihanna, and he lost it. In 2013, he's arrested on felony assault charge again. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor, and because he's a celebrity, they let him walk. Him and his bodyguard were arrested in D.C. after the two were involved in a physical altercation with two men outside a hotel. At the time, the singer was still on probation following his 2009 assault of Rihanna. So he had a felony charge of assaulting Rihanna. They allowed him to take a misdemeanor plea, and he was on probation, and he beat someone else, and he didn't go to prison. 36 hours in jail. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor. Special treatment. In November 2013, he was ordered to go to rehab and sentenced to live-in anger management. Wow. In March 2014, he was kicked out of Malibu Rehab Center and arrested. He spent 131 days in prison for violating probation, finally, after 4 criminal acts. In 2015, he's detained in the Philippines for a fraudulent complaint. In 2016, he investigated allegations of domestic violence by Las Vegas police. The victim's statements, he said they were unequivocally untrue. That's you can't say it that way. Anyway, in 2016, he's sued by his ex-manager. 2016, he's arrested following a standoff with police, released without charges. 2017, he's ordered to stay away from his ex-girlfriend, Karuchi Tran. 2018, he's sued for sexual assault. Lawsuit was settled out of court. 2018, he's arrested for felony battery after a Florida concert. Charges dropped due to insufficient evidence. In 2019, he's detained in France. In 2021, he's sued for allegations of copyright infringement over several of his hit songs. 2022, he's sued by a woman who claims the singer drugged and raped her. The judge dismissed the case. 2024, he's sued by concertgoers for $50 million. Wow. He and Live Nation were named in a $50 million lawsuit by 4 concertgoers who attended the singer's 11/11 tour at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. The plaintiffs alleged that the singer and members of the entourage attacked and brutally beat them following the show. The case has not yet gone to trial from July of this year. In October, he's accused of sexual assault in a new documentary. Yeah, but Gabe McKenzie says, hey, let's go. It's December. Let's go to a Chris Brown concert. There you go. There you go. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Well, top university paints a grim picture of South Africa's racial wealth divide. Now, this is the London School of Economics and Political Science study that says that generational wealth is the problem in South Africa. It is not the problem. And the reason for wealth disparity is because of the communist policies, the failed macroeconomic policies of the ANC. Instead of free market capitalism, they have skewed the marketplace in favor of a rich elite coterie of connected cadres. Therefore, wealth disparity is not only persisted, but increased dramatically under the ANC. It is now the most unequal country in the world with a Gini coefficient of 0.67. 0.67. Wow. And they blame it on race. It's not race. It's incompetent communist policies. This could have all been turned around long ago. And they're talking about how most of the wealth that black folks have is a consequence of owning their houses, but most of them own houses, own them in townships, and they aren't worth shit, so they aren't making much money. Well, that's part of the problem. But at the end of the story, they tell the truth. So, let me tell you all that. The working paper, Inherited Wealth in Post-Apartheid South Africa, New Perspectives from Probate Records from the London School of Economics International Inequalities Institute, lifts the lid on the scale of racial divide. There's no lid to lift. The study led by Rebecca Simpson, a PhD graduate whose research explores social and economic process of change in post-colonial Africa, examined probate records, or documents related to the distribution of deceased persons' estate, to assess the rate at which black South Africans have acquired white-owned housing. Okay, so... So she looked at records when white people die if black people get the house. Well, that's going to be pretty rare unless a white person married a black person. Why would they get their property? What kind of study is this? The findings are stark. Only 3% of black South Africans own inheritable wealth of at least 250,000 rand, compared to 47% of whites, 8% of colors, and 43% of South Asians. Well, what I take from that is that $250,000 is not a lot. Rand is not a lot of money, folks. Not a lot of money. 250,000 rand is not a lot of money. 190,000 is $10,000. That is like $12,000, $13,000 inherited wealth. That's a ridiculously low figure to pick. Anyway, so they go on. They talk about asset transfers, yada, yada, a skewed racial distribution. But at the end, they say, in some regards, South Africa's wealth transfer problem is analogous to that in Western countries, so it's no different than ours, which face a marked generational wealth divide as a consequence of house prices outperforming wage growth over many decades. Correct! This gap is much greater political salience in South Africa, where the divide is predominantly racial rather than generational. No, it's not. It's generational. If you hadn't imposed ridiculous macroeconomic policies impoverishing black South Africans for the past 30 years, they would have been able to build wealth. And as they die off this decade, next decade, decade after that, there would be wealth transferred. But you have destroyed the black working class with your low standards, your bigotry, your soft racism of expecting people to get 30% to pass and then giving them jobs when they're incompetent. Look at all of the auditing firms in South Africa that are forced to hire retired white auditors and colored and Indian auditors and accountants to oversee all the university graduates who are functionally illiterate when it comes to financial matters. It's insane, and it's counterproductive, and it grinds the economy to a halt. Stop being such racist bastards and start having a real functioning economy in South Africa. Musi Maimani's Bosa, Build One South Africa, is gearing up for the local government elections of 2026. I know you're dying to know that story. Well, Neville, to be correct, Jan van Riebeck did not believe in capitalism. He believed in mercantilism. That's what the Dutch were doing, mercantilism. And Hendrik Verwoerd didn't really care about capitalism. He cared about separate development, to be fair. To be fair, they're not exactly icons of capitalism. The MK party wishes the EFF well on its conference, even though Malema has characterized the party as his biggest enemy. Mkhonto Sizwe has wished the EFF well on its third National People's Assembly, which officially kicks off tomorrow, even though the EFF president Juju has characterized the MK party as the biggest enemy. In a statement released today, MK said it wished its partner in progressive agenda of the total emancipation of our people. Total emancipation, being black supremacy and the elimination of white people. That's what they're talking about. They don't believe in emancipation. Black people in South Africa have been emancipated for a long time, about 32 years now. Yep, total nonsense. Did the research consider that land and property ownership in homelands was subject to system? No, it did not, of course. I'm sure it didn't. I haven't read it, but I'm sure it doesn't include that, Keith. It also doesn't include all the reasons why. It's looking at the data going, okay, well, black people aren't inheriting wealth more than $250,000, and so it's a racial problem, it's a spatial problem. That's one aspect of why the situation like that, it is much more complex than that. So I'm going to have to read the paper and see, and I will just destroy the study if it doesn't include the other stuff. Anyway, 20 years later, a self-confessed Gauteng serial rapist says he couldn't stop himself, wants out of prison. He got life, but in South Africa, life doesn't mean life. Nope. You can go out on parole. Yep. Self-confessed serial rapist Stanley Eugene de Jager has approached the courts after being denied parole twice. He was sentenced to life in prison back in 2003 after pleading guilty in multiple counts of rape, sexual assault, and kidnappings. He claims he's met all the criteria for parole and wants the court to overturn the unlawful decision to refuse him parole. Well, according to the law, it appears to be unlawful. He's applying for parole, and he's now dragged Correctional Services Minister Peter Groenewald and the National Council of Correctional Services to court. Yep, he preyed mainly on fair-haired women and girls, all of whom were in their teens and early 20s. He lured his victims to his car by pretending to be lost and threatening them with a gun he kept under his seat. His spree lasted from July 2001 until May of 2002 when he was finally arrested and charged with 10 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of rape, 7 counts of what was then termed indecent assault, now called sexual assault, and 1 count of attempted indecent assault. In June 2003, his trial got underway. He said he was not guilty. But they produced DNA evidence, and then he admitted to the crimes. Under the Correctional Services Act, offenders sentenced to life in prison must serve at least 25 years before he can consider for parole. So why is he upset about not being let on parole? Well, because the law came into effect after he was convicted and sentenced. That came into effect on October 1st, 2004. Anyone sentenced to life for a crime committed before then, like de Jager, must serve a minimum of 13 years and 4 months before they can consider for parole. Now, parole consideration isn't a guarantee of parole. So this gentleman is a danger to society, and that's probably why his parole was denied, not because he's white. So he was actually eligible for parole after 13 years. So in 2016, he should have been considered parole, and he is still in prison. He's upset. Well, life is life, buddy. What you did to those girls and women is unacceptable. Former Springbok center Andre Snyman gets a terrible diagnosis with brain tumor. Andre Snyman, the muscular utility back who represented the Springboks 38 tests, has been diagnosed with a tumor that affects his brain. It's not cancerous. It's a vestibular schwannoma or acoustic neuroma, which is a tumor that grows inside the ear canal and affects the brain. Non-cancerous, the rare tumor grows inside the ear. Wow. The 50-year-old was diagnosed in October and, according to reports, is due for surgery next month. Wow. An online post suggests the effects have been debilitating for him, who was no longer able to drive or move without concern due to his impaired balance. Wow. Recovery time after the surgery expected to be 3 months. Thoughts and prayers to Andre Snyman and his family on this terrible diagnosis. Hope that he recovers well. Well, the treatment of the Bushmen, or the Basarwa, as people say in Botswana, has been abysmal under every president of Botswana until now. Finally, the mistreatment of the indigenous population of Botswana is taking a turn for the better when the new socialist president came in office. So something good coming out of his election victory. Botswana's president promises to restore Bushmen's rights after years-long delay in burial. Botswana's new president has promised to restore some rights which were taken away from the Basarwa, an indigenous tribe of hunters and gatherers found across southern Africa. This week, the government allowed the tribe to bury Pitseng Khaberekwa, who died in December 2021 on the group's ancestral land, ending a drawn-out impasse. The courts have barred the family from burying him in the ancestral home in the vast and arid central Kalahari Game Reserve, from which most of his relatives were forcibly removed to protect wildlife zone. International tribal rights advocacy group Survival Nationalists argued the Bushmen were pushed out of the game reserve because there are diamonds in the area, and they're correct. The previous governments had denied the allegations, saying they wanted the Bushmen to move closer to modern amenities in life. And what do? Just like Native Americans, they put them in little villages with nothing to do, no jobs, teen pregnancy, dependency on alcohol, and destruction of their traditional way of life, which was hunting and gathering, which led to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and a complete disruption of their lifestyle, including hypertension. The treatment of the Bushmen in Botswana has been reprehensible. Perhaps this will change the tide finally after 50 years of mistreatment by the government of Botswana. I would call it racist, except I don't know if it is. Oh, I inherited gone. There are some nice ones. What's this? Okay. This is okay. Food for thought. Like Hispanic gangs in America, can a member of a numbers gang walk away unless carried down the box? I have no idea what you're talking about. All right. Zimbabwe aims to end HIV/AIDS by 2030. Well, good luck with that. You'll never get rid of it. It's here to stay. You may reduce the incidence of it, but you're not getting rid of it. This is fantasy. Zimbabwean health officials said Tuesday aim to eliminate HIV/AIDS as a public health threat by 2030, crediting the United States with making such progress possible through aid and support. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. But of course, this is Voice of America reporting, so it won't be reported by African media. Speaking to journalist Dr. Delight Maduro. Now, that's a lovely name, Dr. Delight. I can hear it now. Paging Dr. Delight, paging Dr. Delight. It's pretty good. Anyway, all right, continue on with our news for today. Mauritius' new prime minister says the government misstated gross domestic product and public debt. Things are worse, just like Botswana. The government comes in and the previous government lied. Yep, surprise, surprise, surprise. Mauritius PM Ramgoolam, previous government misstated GDP and public debt. Announcing results of an audit he launched into the Indian Ocean archipelago's public finances, Prime Minister said GDP figures since 2022 have been misstated to give the false impression of an economic boom. Previous government has fumbled and jumbled the economic fundamentals. Their mismanagement of the economy and falsifying of figures has been an unmitigated disaster. Wow. They've been practicing voodoo economics. Wow. The actual budget deficit was 5.7% of GDP, not 3.9%. And public sector debt was 83%, not 77%. Wow. He's trying to bring debt ratio down to 60%. That would be impressive. Better than the United States, actually. Kenyan police tear gas anti-femicide march. Kenya police tear gassed a peaceful march outside the capital on Tuesday, detaining a number of protesters, according to the French press agency. There's a strong presence of police in Nairobi ahead of the march. Just one of many were planned across the country. Yep. Heavily equipped officers, both uniformed and plainclothes, made multiple arrests in the central business district. The French press witnessed at least one young woman being bundled, screaming into the back of a police vehicle. There's no reason to send armed police against people with placards. I would agree. That's inappropriate. Highly inappropriate. Somalia and Ethiopia have penned a joint declaration, according to Turkey's dictator for life, President Erdogan. Somalia and Ethiopia, two countries at odds, have agreed to a joint declaration to resolve their dispute. Speaking at a joint press conference in Ankara, Erdogan thanked Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed and Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy for their historic reconciliation. Well, they don't tell us what the reconciliation is, so that's not particularly helpful. But that news came out today, so maybe there'll be more details coming on it shortly. What did Hendo say? That's hopefully when Trump... Yeah. Yeah, he'll, as Arctic says, he'll have to address Section 230 of the Telecommunications Act of 1996 and start from there. He'll also have to clamp down on the Department of Justice, the National Institutes for Health, the Centers for Disease Control, the executive branch, the FBI, for violating their constitutional rights. That's going to be a lot of work. At least 127 people killed in 2 days in Sudan, most of whom are civilians. 20-month civil war between the army and paramilitary rapid support forces is turning increasingly bloody as ceasefire efforts have stalled and the crisis elsewhere have dominated world attention, and people aren't paying attention to Sudan. More than 8 barrel bombs hit the market in the North Darfur town of Kabiyaya on Monday. The pro-democracy Al-Fashir Resistance Committee said, yep, people getting killed every day in Sudan, people starving, and the world's not paying attention. I was remiss yesterday with running out of time. Yesterday was Burkina Faso Independence Day, so a belated greeting to Burkina Faso on their Independence Day. This one coming from Winkin, Blinken, and Odd, who was grilled yesterday. I watched that testimony. That was entertaining, watching him being grilled at the Congress. On behalf of the United States of America, I congratulate the people of Burkina Faso on the 64th anniversary of your independence. In the face of uncertainty and insecurity, the United States commends the strength and resilience of the Burkinabe people and supports your pursuit of a peaceful, stable, and prosperous future. We stand with the Burkinabe people in your efforts to advance security, economic development, good governance, and human rights. Congratulations on the anniversary of your independence. Of course, who's independent when jihadists are killing people all over the country? Nigeria's Senate is seeking to criminalize the export of maize. What the hell? Nigeria's Senate passed a bill seeking to make it a crime to export large quantities of unprocessed corn in an effort to alleviate hunger in the West African nation. The most populous country in the continent is grappling with its worst cost of living crisis in a generation. The weak Nigerian currency has spurred informal exports of corn, rice, and sorghum to neighboring countries due to the exchange rate differential with the West African franc. Corn is a staple in Nigeria. It's also used for animal feed, but they're exporting lots of it. Yep. So exports rose from 50 to 75,000 tons, and the government is going to make it a criminal offense to export food. What kind of government is that? What kind of government is that? Sub-Saharan Africans are not getting enough protein from fish because they're not getting enough fish because Europeans and Asians are overfishing off the coast. So maybe they should turn to aquaculture. Officials in sub-Saharan African countries have agreed it's important to reduce overdependence on imported fish and seafood from North Africa and the European Union, and instead they should strive to cultivate fish farming, which will create jobs for unemployed youth. The officials meeting in Cameroon said their goal is to invest in some of what they collectively spend on importing fish each year and put that funding in developing local fish farms. They hope to redirect the local fish farmers to a large amount of the $7 billion spent on importing seafood. Spend it in Africa. Importing seafood for necessary protein for Africans is a huge expense. As you can see, $7 billion per year across the continent. And very few places practice aquaculture. They do it in Uganda. I've been there. The Acholi people do it in the northern part of the country. And those are projects sponsored by USAID. But it needs to be more widespread. Aquaculture. France has begun its withdrawal from Chad, according to officials. France has started withdrawal of its military from Chad with the departure of 2 warplanes that were based in N'Djamena. Yeah, in a surprise move, the government of Chad, an ally of the West in the fight against Islamists in the region, ended the Defense Cooperation Pact on November 28th. So, French troops, many of them are leaving. We don't know if they're all leaving because the terms have not been discussed publicly. Hamas is conceding to key concessions. They've granted key concessions to Israel in an effort to get a ceasefire in Gaza. Wow, including the continued presence of the Israeli Defense Force in Gaza. Wow. They backed down on the presence of Israeli troops in Gaza after the war and hand over the list of hostages they would release under a pact. Hamas has yielded to 2 of Israel's key demands for a ceasefire deal in Gaza, raising hopes of an agreement that could release some hostages within days despite the repeated collapse of previous negotiations. The militant group told mediators for the first time that it would agree to a deal that would allow Israeli forces to remain in Gaza temporarily when the fighting stops. Hamas also handed over a list of hostages, including U.S. citizens, whom it would release under a ceasefire pact, something it hasn't done since the first truce in the conflict last year. Well, the new plan proposed by Cairo and backed by the U.S. seeks to build on the momentum gained in the ceasefire in Lebanon back in November, which, of course, isn't a ceasefire. People are still shooting. So, the leaders of Hamas and the kidnappers, once they've turned over the hostages, should be hunted until they're dead. Hunted like dogs for kidnapping our citizens. Trump will take them out. A man missing, a fool who went on a Christian pilgrimage to Syria in the midst of a civil war. This fool has been missing for months, has been found. According to press reports, a man found in Syria appears to be a missing American. He told reporters his name was Travis Timmerman and that he'd entered Syria on a religious pilgrimage, and he'd been detained for months. Syrian authorities said on Thursday that a foreign man had been imprisoned while Bashar al-Assad was in power, had been found outside Damascus and headed over to a rebel group that now controls the capital. In interviews with international news media, the man appeared to be identifying himself as Travis Timmerman, an American who was believed to have gone missing from Budapest earlier this year. Wow. Hisham El-Eid, the mayor of a poor, partly rural town east of Damascus, said the man had been found on Thursday morning on the road. He was barefoot and cold, but otherwise seemed to be in good health. He told reporters that he entered Syria from Lebanon on a Christian pilgrimage and had been detained for several months. He received food and water while in detention and was allowed to go to the bathroom. Good Lord. What idiots go to a war zone on a Christian pilgrimage. Executed, died from sickness. The horrific release of the missing, murdered Syrians and foreign nationals by the Assad regime in their prisons. Sick. Syrians searching for missing loved ones are combing the grounds of the country's most notorious prison, rifling through a list of detainees and chipping at the concrete floor looking for hidden cells or tombs. Civilians, militia soldiers, lawyers, and a rescue team from Turkey picked through heaps of clothes left in the cell blocks of military-run Sadania prison and stared at the red rope nooses hanging from a concrete wall behind the building. As many as 50 people per day were hanged at the prison, according to the State Department, back in 2017. Tens of thousands of people disappeared in the country's sprawling detention network since Bashar al-Assad moved to suppress the 2011 uprising. 99% of them are dead, said Amar al-Bara, a lawyer. Pulled a sheet from a bundle of prison records tucked under one arm and read from the table of names. Executed. Died from sickness. Wow. And Barack Obama is responsible. Yep, Barack Obama. That blood is on his hands. All those people killed by the regime. Well, the U.S. government signals conditional support for a future government in Syria. This is a foolish step. The transition process, new government must also uphold clear commitments to fully respect the rights of minorities, facilitate the flow of humanitarian assistance, prevent Syria from being used as a base for terrorism. Yeah, according to Secretary Anthony Blinken, who just went to the Middle East last night to screw up peace and security in the region even more before he leaves office. But that's what the Blinken and Nod regime does. South Korea's martial law chaos as the former defense minister attempts to commit suicide with his underwear. Wow. North Korea, in a first public response to last week's events, lambasted its southern neighbor as a fascist dictatorship. Well, thank you for your input. Nobody cares. South Korea's martial law crisis widened as the imprisoned former defense minister attempted suicide. On Tuesday, 11:52 p.m., Kim Jong-un, the country's recently resigned defense minister, tried to hang himself at the detention facility where he's being held on insurrection and other charges tied to martial law. Wow. He was the first major official to be detained over the move. And apparently, he tried to use his underwear to off himself. Australia's population is soaring despite a low birth rate as people flood into the country. Surged by 500,000 a year despite low birth rate. Migrant arrivals outnumber births 2-1 as the population grows. So Australia is being invaded. A total of 666,800 new migrants entered Australia in the past year, while 221,000 individuals left the country. The country recorded 289,000 births and 182,000 deaths. So it has a natural rate of growth. It doesn't need all these immigrants. Well, so now Australia's population stands at 27.2 million people. Western Australia is growing the fastest, 2.8% per year, followed by Victoria at 2.4% and Queensland by 2.3%. Yep. Migration normalizing. Well, it's not normal. It's not normal. Speaking of Australia, the Albanese government is trying to establish a news bargaining incentive. Let me tell you what this means, folks. Shaking down private, independent journalism and media and tech sites for profit, taking their money out of their pocket to support state-run propaganda against citizens. That's what this means. The Albanese government will establish a news bargaining incentive to ensure large digital platforms contribute to the sustainability of the news media in Australia. A strong and diverse news sector is vital for healthy democracy, except you're giving the money to government-run media. Yep, Meta, TikTok will be hit hard with the new mandatory charges for public interest journalism. They've revealed a fresh set of rules aimed at forcing tech and social media giants to reimburse news outlets. Why? Why should they reimburse? The company said the existing deals under the Treasury Laws Amendment Act of 2021 was costing it $70 million across all platforms. Australian, that is. It's $44 million US. The incentive will apply to large digital platforms operating significant social media search services, irrespective of whether they decide to carry news. The fascist government of Australia, the Albanese fascist totalitarian government, is seeking to shake down foreign firms to pay for their propaganda by state-run media. This is immoral and a bankrupt concept. Just cut off services to Australia and let it tie itself to Baidu in China. Well, 120 miles apart couldn't keep two lovebirds. Yep, 120 miles, 180 kilometers couldn't keep two lovebirds apart, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Amur tigers, Siberian tigers as they're also known, raised in captivity when the cubs were found abandoned in the wild, were separated by 100 miles and put into the wild, and they found each other and mated and had cubs. What a love story. What a beautiful love story. Boris and Svetlana were raised together as orphan cubs and then reintroduced to the wild separately, but Boris went on a trek that surprised researchers who were monitoring him. There they are. That's them on a camera trail back in 2018. When Russian scientists released a pair of orphan Amur tiger cubs into the wild in a remote corner of Russia's Far East in 2014, they're trying to save a species. While the tigers, sometimes called Siberian tigers and the world's largest big cat, remain endangered, scientists created something else, an unlikely love story. The cubs, Boris and Svetlana, had been rescued from the wild as unrelated 3 to 5-month-old cubs in the Sokote Alin Mountains, the animal's main stronghold. They grew up in captivity and were released at 18 months. The cats were separated by more than 100 miles with the goal of expanding the distribution of released tigers as much as possible. Scientists tracked the cubs until more than a year after the release. Something strange happened. Boris walked 120 miles almost in a straight line to where Svetlana had made a home. Yeah, 6 months later, Svetlana gave birth to a litter of cubs. While the strategy of releasing rescued cats in captivity to restore populations of the wild has proved successful with the Iberian lynx in Spain, it had never been tried with big cats. Estimates of the number of tigers left in Russia range from 485 to 750, but researchers say the Russia-China border area, including the pre-Amur area, where Boris and Svetlana live, could support hundreds more of the animals. There you go. What a love story. Love story. Antonio Gutierrez hopes to secure a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for Africa. And I say no. No. Especially if we go to South Africa, Ethiopia, or Algeria, or Nigeria. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez says he hopes to see at least 2 African countries as permanent members of the United Nations Security Council before the end of his tenure. Well, good luck with that, Antonio Gutierrez, because we will veto that. He should have tried that when Biden was president. Brazilian President Wackadoodle Lulu is undergoing new surgery to minimize a bleed on his brain. Well, that would explain his idiotic behavior. He's got a bleeding brain. Yep, he'll undergo a new procedure today to complement a surgery he went through this week to drain a bleed on his brain. Doctors operated on the leftist leader for almost 2 hours Tuesday to drain bleeding between his brain and meningeal membrane. Ugh. They said the process was relatively simple and low risk. Well, he's high risk. He's a leftist lunatic. Well, Ontario's premier says that he'll raise tariffs to 100% on Canadian energy because we need it. Hey, buddy, we don't need your energy. Go ahead and put 100% tariffs on it. Put it on. Put it on. I dare you, Doug Ford. Ontario premier says U.S. energy exports will be cut off if Trump imposes sweeping tariffs on Canada. Do it. Do it. Do it. We will go to the full extent, depending on how far this goes. We'll go to the extent of cutting off their energy. You moron. We're energy independent. We don't need your energy. We're just processing it for sale abroad, you moron. 60% of U.S. crude oil imports come from Canada. 85% of U.S. electricity imports as well. Well, we don't need to import electricity, and we don't need to import your oil. So go ahead, raise it. And then the revenue you don't get will watch your economy collapse. Cut off your nose to spite your face, Doug Ford. What a clown. What a clown. What a clown. Threats from Canada. Look how scared I am. Drones, dogs, drug labs. Canada's plan to avoid Trump's tariffs is taking shape after Juicy Trudeau made his pilgrimage to Mar-a-Lago and kissed the ring, becoming the 51st governor of America. 2 weeks later, he has a plan to stave off a showdown by actually getting Canada to do its frickin' job at the border. Yep. The Canadian government will flesh out details, figure out a price tag, and establish a timeline, and then present a plan to the incoming Trump administration for Trump's inauguration next month. So we've got the Canadians bending over backwards to do their frickin' jobs for once. Wow, that's exciting. Joe Biden has announced the largest single-day clemency in the history, well, modern history. He's going to commute the sentences of 1,500 criminals. Yep. The commutations announced in a statement today are for people who were released from prison and placed in home confinement during COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to the commutations, he's also pardoning 39 convicted of nonviolent crimes. Yes. And not missing a chance to tell us that prisons are fertile breeding grounds for infection. We don't care. They're criminals. They're criminals. And you released them, and now you're commuting their sentences, so you're letting them go. Kari Lake will be the leader of the Voice of America. Kari Lake, the former television personality and failed gubernatorial and senatorial candidate multiple times in Arizona, she can't get over the hump. Kari Lake will now be the director of the Voice of America. Makes sense. President Trump has chose Kari Lake, the former TV news anchor turned election denier, who lost races for senator and governor, to lead the Voice of America, a federally funded broadcaster outlet that aims to offer unbiased news to audiences around the world. So there you go. Kari Lake. There you go. Well, the tide has turned in the nomination. The smear campaign against Pete Hegseth seems to have been eased, and it looks like he will be confirmed as defense secretary. Holdouts won't doom Hegseth's nomination, several waiting for background check. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth nominee appears to be poised to make at least his confirmation hearing early next year after a round of meetings with key Republican senators avoided raising overt red flags. Although the tide has turned since reports last week that President-elect Trump was considering potential replacements, he's not out of the woods yet, but looking good. Press Secretary, I think Voice of America is a better fit for her. Tulsi Gabbard's nomination is a little bit at risk at the moment. The outspoken leftist Democrat, come Republican, former Congresswoman has faced questions about a visit in 2017 to Syria where she met with then-President Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Tulsi Gabbard is on Capitol Hill this week seeking to gain the backing of GOP Senate conference for her nomination to be the Director of National Intelligence. Yeah, we want to know what the purpose of her trip was and what the direction was. As a member of Congress, we want to get a chance to talk about past comments that she made and get them in full context. Well, we'll see if Tulsi Gabbard gets through the process. Donald Trump is named Time Magazine's Man of the Year. There you go. And how could it be anybody else? The President-elect, who has long considered the magazine's honor his holy grail, was previously named Person of the Year in 2016. So it's the second time. He joins Rarefied Air as a two-time selectee. Yep, this is Trump's second time after first being selected in 2016. Last year's Person of the Year was Taylor Swift. Please. Yep. Times editor-in-chief Sam Jacobs wrote that it was not a difficult choice since he began running for president in 2015. Perhaps no single individual has played a larger role in changing the course of politics and history than Trump. On the cusp of his second presidency, all of us, from his most fanatical supporters to his most fervent critics, are living the age of Trump. There you go. Yep. All done. Well, the Postal Service green energy plan is going poorly. Defense contractor Oshkosh, which builds trucks, has delivered only 93 trucks as of November, compared to 3,000 that were expected to be delivered to the Postal Service. These ridiculous green energy vehicles are a disaster. The multi-billion-dollar program to buy electric vehicles for the Postal Service is so far behind its original schedule, plagued by manufacturing mishaps and supplier infighting that has threatened a cornerstone of outgoing President Joe Biden's fight against climate change. The Postal Service is slated to purchase 60,000 next-generation delivery vehicles, mostly electric, from defense contractor Oshkosh, which has a long history of producing military and heavy industrial vehicles, but not postal trucks. Congress provided $3 billion for the nearly $10 billion project in 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, which actually caused inflation. But as of November, they only received 93 of the 3,000 they should have gotten by now. Well done, Oshkosh, screwing that one up. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. Don't run off. Caitlin Clark apparently has opened her mouth and gone woke. And let me see if I can find something on Caitlin Clark, because I have a feeling I won't be watching the WNBA anymore. Caitlin Clark. Let's look her up. And the news on her. I've heard rumors that she's acted like a fool. Okay, Caitlin Clark in a Prada gown. Who cares about that? You see her tiny little boobs. Not interested. Not interested. Nope, looks ridiculous. Megyn Kelly disgusted by Caitlin Clark for condescending fake white privilege comments. She's listed as the athlete of the year. That's reasonable. The lights on Caitlin Clark have always shined bright, and the women of the world wide, with the wide world of women's basketball on her shoulders, has never shied away. Not from attention, not from the scrutiny, and not from the deep-seated belief that she too walks on the shoulders of giants. And for this, she was always drawn ire. In interviews for Time Magazine Athlete of the Year cover story, she spoke at length about the racial underpinnings behind her explosion of fame. And she spoke about racial underpinnings. You think we watched it because of racism? Oh, my God. Megyn Kelly was disgusted. Yep. Look at this. The media personality wrote in a post X on Tuesday, Clark's on the knee all but apologizing for being white and getting attention. The self-flagellation, the "oh, please pay attention to the black players who are really the ones you want to celebrate." Condescending, fake, transparent, sad. Yep. In her interview, she told Time, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there's privilege." Oh, fuck you, Caitlin Clark. A lot of people, at least players in the league, have been really good at having been black players. The league has been kind of built on them. Yeah, and they've got black privilege because they're the ones being picked. The white players being ignored for the WNBA. Yeah, ridiculous nonsense. The more we can appreciate, highlight that, and talk about it, then continue to have brands and companies invest in these players that made this league incredible. I think it's very important. I have continued trying to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Well, great. Then piss off. Your racism against white women who are barely present in the league. It's a black supremacy league, and you're promoting it? Wow, unbelievable. The narrative that women's basketball is having a moment has become ubiquitous as the record setting on the court, the television ratings, the box office, and sponsorship revenue, merchandise, the list goes on and on. Yep. And as the narrative has grown, so too has the racial one. The theme has always will be loom over the clock. The racial thing is something you're making. I didn't watch you because you're white. I didn't watch Michael Jordan because he was black. I watched you because you were incredible, once-in-a-lifetime talents. Now you're a once-in-a-lifetime deuce, idiot, moron, Caitlin Clark. Shameful conduct. The woman who was assaulted several times on the basketball court because she's white by jealous, angry, racist black players, punched, hit on the court, intentionally knocked down with flagrant fouls, not called, fouled all the time, and she sits and takes a knee. Screw her. Wow. So here's some of the comments. Caitlin, we had over 25 years to... Let me see what they say here. We had over 25 years to pay attention to WNBA with the players who comprised the league at that point. We're just not that into it. You're the one who made it more popular. There's nothing wrong with taking credit for that. Look at the ratings decline once your team was eliminated from playoffs. Exactly. It fell off the table. And just like what Jordan did for the NBA in the 80s. Exactly. The only reason anyone is even interested in WNBA is because of Clark. Yep. Exactly. It's okay to be modest and share credit with other players, but without the racial talk, that just continues to divide people. Unbelievable. I think Clark, despite being outwardly upbeat, is concerned about being a continued target of flagrant and potentially debilitating attacks on the basketball court. Yeah, which is what's happened to her. Yeah, WNBA clearly has no clue how to handle the sudden 15 minutes of fame it's received. It's incredible to see how everyone is involved in fumbling the bag. Obvious racism is allowed for one tribe. The other shame is the referees in the league did not protect Caitlin. How many times players have been ejected and fined? How about every game? Even her B teammates don't protect her. It's obvious now that they have a problem. You want equality? Treat everyone the same. Yep. That's it's unbelievable. So screw Caitlin Clark. She's an idiot. Yeah, no, I already said it. Screw you, Caitlin Clark. Yep. News got boring a while ago. See you next time. Well, I'm sorry the news got boring, Alan. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Dang. All right. Well, we're not even doing the news anymore now. We're just chatting, man. You leaving? All right. What's going on in the chat here? There's no way to warn California about the Cascadia megaquake coming. It's happening. Okay, Tony. Is the Yellowstone caldera going to explode as well? Chantel, how's it going? Wendy Combrick is back. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? White Rain says, we all know we are overdue for a megaquake, but it might happen the next hour or 200 years. Not much to do, but prep and make infrastructure safer. Can't abandon whole regions. Fair enough. Banning California. This was shocking to me, Wednesday. I didn't know that either. What do I say? Please look at Candace's latest podcast. Candace Owen? What did she say and do? Keep reading about these drone lights people in the States are saying. No one seems to know what they are. What are your thoughts? My thoughts on it are that they're being done by the Chinese. And I said that before Chinese were captured. The Biden administration's incompetence in allowing a Chinese surveillance balloon with some American technology to fly all the way across the North Pacific and down over the United States, spying on our nuclear missile sites in the Plain States, all the way across the country over sensitive nuclear facilities, and then doing nothing about it as it happened over days and weeks, just watching it happen and waiting until it was off the coast of America on the East Coast to shoot it down, shows you the incompetence and the collusion, the corruption in the bought and paid for Chinese spy network owned by the Biden crime family. There you go. That's what I think about the drones. We have drones that have been flying over Langley Air Force Base for the past year, and no one's done anything about it. I've reported on the story previously. Now it's getting a lot of attention because of New Jersey. They're flying over the Picatinny Arsenal and many sensitive areas. They're also flying over the Trump International Golf Course there. They are flying over everything, and they are spying and collecting data on us, and they should be removed from the air. Knock them down. One way to knock them down is jam the radio signals that are controlling them. Jam the radio signals. Another way is to get helicopters up and knock them down. You can't just shoot indiscriminately because a lot of it's over space where the bullets will land on civilians. But my thoughts on this, these are Chinese, primarily. Some idiot member of the legislative delegation in New Jersey went on television yesterday and claimed that they were from Iran. Iran has a mothership off the coast of the Atlantic. Well, where's the mothership? Oh, sources that can be trusted. I can't reveal their names. Yeah, okay, thank you, Scully. You and Mulder go back to the X-Files, okay? Anyway, crazy stuff. Keep reading about all these drones, okay? Ford is a goof. Yeah, he is a goof. Oh, Tony would know. You're in Canada. He's a goof, yep. Breaking news. Nelson Mandela Bay Deputy Mayor Gary Finneker has been suspended by the council. Okay. Suspended as a counselor? Okay. Over alleged fraud 32 minutes ago. Okay. Well, that's interesting news. Let me go to X and see if there's anything. Where'd you get that from? X. Motion no confidence has been postponed.
Right now is that an important decision is about to be taken by council members. Is there more detail as to what this is about exactly?
Well, Oli, as you have mentioned, that the motions that was brought forward by the Democratic Alliance, the Speaker claims that she did not receive the correspondence by the Democratic Alliance, but also she did mention that she...
So it didn't happen. Ujik Johnson prevented it from happening. So, wow. Wow. So where is... I don't see this. It's not on Twitter. Where are you getting it from? No way this government doesn't know what's happening. Yeah, exactly. Deliberate misinformation being shoveled on. Exactly. Okay. Trudeau is an insufferable tool. Yeah. Colonel, a lot of talk about U.S. military plane that landed in Mpumalanga yesterday. Where in Mpumalanga? In Petersburg? And what's the big deal? U.S. military planes land all over the place, all over the world every day. So I don't. What's the talk? I haven't heard about it. Let me just search. U.S. military plane. In Mpumalanga. Whoops, I got a semicolon in there. Massive U.S. Air Force plane lands. That's 2 days ago. Okay, KMI Airport. Here's what. That's March 2021, 2019. That's a C-17. It's on TikTok. Okay, let's, I can't make this full window. It doesn't do full window. So let's just do this. Yeah, this is a C-17. This is purportedly, I can tell just by looking at massive US, it's a C-17. So is there any audio here? I'm not sure what the issue is. This is normal. Nothing unusual going on here. It's from Charleston, South Carolina, it looks like. Yep. Anyway, I don't know what the issue is. What are people talking about? There's nothing that I can find online searching for it. All right. Malema firearm debacle. Hope he gets... Yeah, I hope so too, Gary. And Sedgefield's here. Hey, Sedgefield, the Chinese are in Langley. Why would they want photos of outside the building? No. Langley Air Force Base is in Virginia. It's in Virginia, down by Norfolk. Langley Air Force Base is not the CIA headquarters. That's what you're thinking of. So let me just do maps and do Langley Air Force Base. Maps. Google Langley Air Force Base. Air Force, Hampton, Virginia. Okay. I'll show you where this is. Okay, here you go. I've been there. Langley Air Force Base. Okay, I'll get rid of that. There you go. That's it right there. That's the Air Force Base right there. 27 Fighter Squadron. That's the folks who responded to the attack on DC on 9/11. They came all the way from there. Right down there. There it is. You see a little red line. Okay. There's Norfolk, the biggest Navy base right there, just on the other side of the bay. And you can see all the way up there is Washington, D.C. So quite a ways from Hampton. So that's where Langley Air Force Base is. Langley, the CIA headquarters, is located up here in this area right here. Right there. So I won't tell you where. You can figure it out on your own. It's over here somewhere. Right in there. Actually, it's on the map. I'm not hiding it. There you go. The George Bush Center for Intelligence. There's the CIA. Central Intelligence Agency right there. The George Bush Center for Intelligence. Okay, here's the map if you want to look at the photo. Look at that. There's the CIA headquarters right there. Look at all that parking, man. Tens of thousands of people working at one building. There you go. Been there many times. Anyway, yeah. So where are we at here? C-17 from South Carolina. The question is why? Well, I don't know why, Garrett. Maybe they're doing a familiarization. Maybe they need to refuel. Maybe they're delivering something. I don't know. Maybe they're in cahoots with the South Africans on shipping military weapons to Russia. Who knows? No, I don't know either, Meerkat. It's not unusual. People shouldn't take it as something unusual. Don't say that, says Tony. Oh, my goodness. All right. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. Have you heard that Pete and Boz duo? If not, do a favor and watch them. Not bad for some old English geezers. Pete and Boz. No, never heard of them. Is that on YouTube? Is that on YouTube? Let me look and see. Pete and Boz. Never heard of them. Look, there's millions of YouTube content creators. You're not going to hear all of them. So, Pete and Boz. Okay.
If you want to learn how to edit really...
No, I don't. I want to... okay, well, I don't see a channel for them. I see Sindhu World. Is that it? I guess that's it. Sindhu World. Okay, there's Sindhu World. They have 310,000 subscribers. Okay. A couple old dudes, okay. Okay, thanks for that. I'll subscribe to that. Don't know why it's called Sindhu World. Are they Indians or something? That's interesting. It's dogs. It's not a sellotape. Arthur Chokes is back. Welcome to you. Concerned about the situation in Mozambique. Weak or no government creates vacuum for radicals take control. I wouldn't lose any sleep with Boko Haram. Boko Haram is not a threat. Boko Haram is not real in Mozambique. It's a bunch of gangsters, and the number is about 150 of them that are in the north in Cabo Delgado. They're nowhere near Maputo, and there's no chance they'll get there. No time soon anyway. So I wouldn't worry about it. I would be worried about instability, though, because demonstrations are causing cock-ups and log jams of sugar, coal, and other resources coming in and out of there. Post a link on WhatsApp to Gary's News. Okay, I don't know what Gary's News is. All right, it's a family thing they got going. They're so funny. You're going to laugh hard. Okay, Mr. Punisher, hopefully I will. Yep, well, today I've got veterans meetings this evening, and have to meet with employees and then do these veterans meetings, but I'm going to check out all my kit. What a haul, man. What a haul for $100, all the cool stuff I got earlier, huh? Isn't that cool? That is nice. Coupe du Monde de Rugby 2023. Ouais, c'est vraiment intéressant. C'est très joli, n'est-ce pas? And of course, the pièce de la résistance. Ça, c'est la chose plus importante. Le hoodie. L'Afrique du Sud, le champion du monde en France. And the road to the championship. There you go. Ha, 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 ha. Love it, I love it, love it. Well, where did I purchase it at? Oh, sure. I don't know if they'll still have them. Let me see. I need my mail. My mail. Okay, where's that at? Come on. 11 o'clock. Somewhere here there was 11 o'clock email. Oh, I know. I already followed it. Did I follow it already? Yeah. Come on. Okay. Here we go. Okay. World Rugby Shop. Okay, here you go. There it is. That's the link. I get a lot of stuff there. They don't always have the best options, but we can go through and see what the store's got right now while we're online. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. All right, so here we go. This is the World Rugby Shop. Who doesn't like mustard? Artie says that shop sucks. Well, you saw Artie, were you late? Did you see the stuff I got for a song? This jacket here cost more, or cost what I paid for the entire shipment. One jacket from Castoria. That's full price. The USA one. So, yep. Anyway, 10% off your first order. Well, I've done my first order and then some. Staff favorite. $129 at All Blacks jersey. Not going to happen. Anyway, this is the place I got my stuff from. Okay? So, yep. So, get the closest USA shirt on Amazon for $30. Yeah, well, I didn't buy a USA shirt. I bought this for $7.99. $7.99. I got this custom-made hoodie for $38. All the games and the scores on the back. The road to victory. Pretty cool. This one for $19.99. This hoodie from the Rugby World Cup France 2023. With all the unions on the back. $19.99. Manu Samoa home jersey original. $19.99. Webels Cup t-shirt. Whoops, that's not it. Backside, sorry. There you go. With embroidered Macron symbol on there. $11.99. Rugby World Cup polo embroidered with the emblem over here embroidered, not printed. $19.99 is $80 shirt. World Cup hoodie, or not hoodie, beanie, $7.99. That's it. All of that for $100. There you go, Arctic. He says, I'm not a trader. I wear South African USA rugby shirts only, and the USA shirts they have aren't great. No, you're right. They aren't. But getting USA jerseys are tough. They're hard to find anywhere. Well, I'm not a trader either. I'm a rugby broadcaster, and so I collect rugby jerseys. Just something I do. One supersedes the other, no firearms. What's this? It's really awesome kit. Yeah, no, Dylan, it's pretty cool. And, all of that for the cost of one jersey. I get all that for what one jersey cost. Anyway. All right, folks. Let's wrap it up here. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button. We didn't get to 100. We got 72. All right. Thank you for that. It's always fun. I hope you enjoyed it. From the Advent stuff to the French to the German to the news and everything else. I call it a took. What's a took? Israel is neither ethno-state nor theocracy, so criticize the state is not anti-Semitic. It's not an ethnic state. That's correct. It's not a theocracy. Well, criticize the state simply because it's run by Jews is anti-Semitic. So, anyway. All right. I don't know what that means, Tony. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. Hit the like button. Cheers and be safe. I'll be back tomorrow. No rugby. And my rugby this week will be all on Saturday. 4 games. The Cheetahs I won't be able to cover because they're on the same time as the Stormers. But 4 games. We're hoping for much better performance from South African sides this weekend. But the news will be on tomorrow as well. Have a lovely day. Thanks for being here. Hey, George. And take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys.